In this lesson, we'll continue working with our walkway and platform. Alright, so we have most of our elements in place at this point, but what we do need is a nice center structural piece to actually run across down the middle here. So to get that accomplished, we're going to set another work plane. And this time I'm going to set, this one is my work plane. So we'll go set work plane, and I'm interested in jumping to my south elevation. And we're going to create a really simple form that's basically going to tie each one of these vertebrae, if you will, together to give it a much more rigidity. So I'm going to go back to my rectangle tool, and I'm just going to create a form here, and then we're going to center it once it's created. Give it a nice solid number here. 10.5 feet sounds good. Grab that element, and I definitely want to move it and align it towards midpoints are set. So we'll grab that midpoint. Make sure it's aligned properly. That'll work for me. So now I can kind of select what we just drew. We'll go create form, and I'll jump to my 3D view, and now basically we just need to extrude this element throughout the rest here so we can actually create a nice more rigid form here for the bottom. So I'll select this face. I'll basically run this across, all the way across. And this should come all the way to this end, about like so. We can actually extend that up to the bottom of this pavement here. And let's do the same thing on the other side. Make sure the other side is extended properly. So again, I'll select that face, and I'll snap. So now we have, pretty much for the most part, our structure in place. So some more adjustments I want to make to this are, now with our slab here, we know that this isn't just one continuous pour. It's actually going to be several little segments. And basically it's going to have a structural piece on the center, and then a structural piece at every joint. So with that in mind, let's start modeling out how that's actually going to look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with this face here, and I'm going to bring this face back, and we're going to create our small segments here this way. So select my face, and I'm going to click and drag this element all the way back. All the way back here. So we'll probably have one in the center, but we're definitely going to stop at that midpoint here. So now we could jump to our east elevation, take a look at this guy here, and make sure it's lined up with our center point. So bring him across like such. And now we have our slab. So now I can highlight this element on the tab, so make sure it's all highlighted. I'm going to copy that element. I'm going to grab it at this point. I'm going to place it right here. Now I'm not too worried about any gaps there, because I definitely want to see some of that gap, because we do have an expansion joint that's resting just on top of that. But I do need to make sure that the structure is right so far. So everything is looking good. We've got our centerpiece, and we've got the edges will actually line up here. So we could continue this copy process to get the rest of this segmented. So again, I'm going to highlight. I'm going to tab to make sure it's completely highlighted. I'm going to copy, make sure multiple is selected, and I'm just going to grab this guy, and we're going to start placing. Like such. Easy as that. So what I'll do here, I'm going to jump to my 3D view, is I'll finish placing the rest of these concrete segments. And in the next lesson, we'll start setting some more reference points, as well as creating our cable connection and our cable so that we could start supporting this walkway. So I'll see you in the next lesson.